Good morning, everybody. Happy holidays. I will cover this video from Karina Kaboom. I have not watched it the entire way through. I got through a little bit of the Amberlynn Reid section of this. And I think I already mentioned this to LCU because they want to somehow find a place for her within their network. But she's been sparse, shall we say. She hasn't been very committal. And at this point, because of her demonetization on the platform, I think it would be super dangerous for you to try and include her in your network, because you might be demonetized too. I think that now she hasn't had her channel completely removed. However, she's in a position where she should not be trying to get around the process and should be working with YouTube to restore her monetization. And if she seeks out other ways of being on YouTube, that could potentially present problems not only for herself, but for your network. 2 cents.
Excuse me, do you know Amberlynn Reid? See, I knew you knew her. You've been watching what happened with her? You know Amberlynn Reid, sir. Will you help her be a court reporter? Only one-time fee of her not doing her work. You watch YouTube? Hi, everyone. Today's video, we're talking about Amber Reid's Instagram stories in which she is upset that she was fired from YouTube temporarily, of course, and is blaming yet again, the people that watch her, and just everything is everybody else's fault but her own. It's a wonderful time to be alive, girls. Feel like a girl of 2021 again. Also, Chantal Marie, Everyday Miriam, has gotten herself into quite a situation. She has revealed her apartment. She did this whole big situation type deal. She was told extensively how to live stream.
You know, and also take a look at this. I'm not sure if she has a reverse image right now, but you can visibly see that one side of her face, even with all the filters on, is sizably larger, visibly larger than the other side of her face. And I'm not talking about like, first of all, okay, everybody's off a little bit. Like your ears are not going to be in the same location. I know this because I studied cosmetology. I was a hairdresser for 5 years. And so I knew that I had to work with mirrors to make sure that sideburns were cut correctly and things like that, regardless of where your ears land, right? But in this case, it is visibly apparent. It's not something that's just, you know, going on with your body. This is like massively obvious that there is something very wrong with her face that not even the filters can adjust for.
And she's not. And also, she's decided to dump Pete's, her long-suffering bestie, yet again.
Oh,
wow. True stunning turn of events, girls. So we're going to get into all the drama, but have you ever asked yourself, why should Amber Reid be the only one using and buying washcloths this holiday season? Get yourself some washcloths. Get your washcloths here. This is my affiliate link to get a washcloth this holiday season. The product will
wow.
pop up in the video. You ever truly asked yourself, how can I get a washcloth online this holiday season? Well, now you can. That's my...
Oh, gosh. You're so good, Karina. I can't. I love that you found an angle to this. Okay.
game show host voice. Only available for the duration of December. Then it's being retired until next holiday season because it was not highly requested. We're up to 15 people enjoying the game show host voice out of 162,000 people. There you go. Perhaps a failure on my part, but anyways. Just keeps getting funnier every time I say it. Well, go get yourself a washcloth and be happy. All right, so we're going to get into all the drama. Everything I'm saying just for entertainment purposes only. Please don't take anything I say seriously. I'm just telling you what I think. My opinions, not facts. On publicly accessible information, first made public by public figures. Please don't go to these people's channels and leave mean-spirited, negative, discouraging, disparaging comments. Please don't do that. Entertainment washcloths. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Entertainment purposes only.
Right.
So for some time now, ever since she had temporarily been let go by YouTube, she can come back in February. If she does everything correctly and plays by the rules, she can come back in February.
Yes.
But ever since this has happened to Amber, she has extensively shared content on her Instagram that is stating that she was chased off the internet, that she's done nothing wrong in the situation, that basically she only temporarily,
and this is why Amberlynn and Chantel both get so much coverage, is that it's not just about having an ED, it's that they have all kinds of mental issues going on, like defiancy disorder and shit like that. Like the fact that they can't see the forest through the trees, right? They're so locked into, no, I'm right, you're wrong, that they can't move forward, you know?
stress the temporarily part, only lost her job because people reported her, right? And so basically she's been sharing content saying and highly implying that she has done nothing wrong, which is of course sad that after all this time you have not learned what reality really was. And the real problem for her that I see, with her continuously having a mind frame and being in the state of mind that she's done nothing wrong, and how she has privated those videos of hers instead of deleting them, this leads me to think that she will not get her monetization back. Now, I believe that she can definitely get her monetization back and she can come back to work here. But see, how you view things will determine how things go a lot of the times. She hasn't deleted the videos, right? The videos are privated. YouTube clearly wants you to delete the offending content permanently before you reapply. And it's obvious as of now she has.
Which, by the way, I think is a dangerous policy for YouTube, because if there are any lawsuits that arise, if you're deleting evidence, that could be problematic. But that is how they're trying to pursue this right now, is just get it off. Get it off the platform. We don't want to be responsible for this, etc., right? But the reality is, if they're constantly asking these offensive creators to delete the material rather than doing more up front to prevent the content from being online in the first place, then that could be cited. And there is a huge class action lawsuit right now that names Eugenia Cooney. It's against TikTok, but everybody else is responding to that. That's why there's a crackdown on EDs. You gotta be careful, right?
And made the decision to fully let go of the fact that, and acknowledge, Amber, you made the mistakes. No matter how many times that people reported you, if you didn't break the rules, your content would not be taken down. It's so wild to me that she still has not learned this. So we're going to talk about this more But I'm just going to show you some of the things that she has posted on the internet. And all of this is about how she was chased off the internet. None of it is acknowledging her mistakes, because I'm sure lots of people have posted stories saying Amber is to blame, saying stuff that...
Yeah, seriously, Amberlynn, come on now. You're not chased off the internet. You have created content in which you're getting highly criticized for, right? And to my own audience, I do apologize for not creating a lot of videos this week. I am celebrating a belated Thanksgiving because I was in a health low last week while it was going on. I could not, I had like 3 days where I couldn't eat any food because I was just like nauseous the entire time. And I'm coming out of it now, and so we've done turkey legs and all the sides, and my mom's been coming over like every day for 3 days now, and we're trying to, get through all of our leftovers basically. But I am at a healthy body weight, which is wonderful. Like I don't look like I'm on death's door anymore. But and I've been between mom's visits and getting into tryptophan, where we're both like passing out and falling asleep because of the tryptophan, and all of the doctor appointments I've had to deal with this week. I've just been sparse, shall we say. So I do apologize to my audience for that, but life happens. What are you gonna do?
Just didn't happen. It did not happen this way. So somebody has says, congratulations, you all. Just chased somebody off the internet for the sake of starting rumors online. What a shame.
Oh,
Hector
wow.
Gamby didn't deserve this. She wasn't trying to hurt anyone, let alone on purpose. Hope you're all happy now. Amber reposted this. You could see that Amber literally, as Pookie Lynn Reid would say, reposted this. So here's my thing. She was not chased off the internet. People are reported on this platform every day, just like on all platforms. Also, like, you don't have to look at YouTube. Pretend that you're in an office and a coworker of yours reports you for doing something. There's going to be an investigation, or if there isn't, your boss is going to try to look in if you actually did this. Look, I'm not saying that unfair incidents don't happen. Sometimes you're reported for something you didn't do and you get in trouble. Yes, I'll acknowledge that. But in general, if you never do what you're being reported on YouTube, it's irrelevant. YouTube took a...
Well, and part of the problem is that neither of these ladies have any expectation of ever raising children, and they don't realize by not age restricting their content that they are having a negative impact on children. And there are going to be activists like myself who will come after you and say, that's not okay. I don't want my granddaughters to be influenced by somebody like you.
Look at the videos that were marked as, for review, and they said the entire channel of Amberlynn Reid posts content that's not within the terms of service. What a wild surprise. I could have told you that, and I did tell you that for years. I constantly said, hey, Amber, you're making content that's against the TOS. I highly suggest you stop making this type of content. And I've said this before, that she has to delete it. She wouldn't do neither. This is a vocabulary channel. She continuously told us that she was not breaching the terms of service. How could you have said this, Amber, when YouTube would take down routinely at the very least 2 videos a year? When YouTube takes down your video and doesn't bring it back and will not reverse their decision, what they're telling you is you messed up.
That's a crazy amount of videos to be taken down, especially for somebody who had previously had a great relationship with YouTube because she was making them money, and she's making money on her own. Like, her portion of it was enough to squander it, right? Like, she spent all this money on Legos and various crafty things and stuff. She overindulged, and I'm seeing this as like a common factor with like internet celebrities, is that they come into a windfall of money based on something they've done, and they just fucking blow it. Why would you do that? You know, why wouldn't you put some into a savings account, or like a 401k, or like even into the stock market? Like, why wouldn't you, if you had all this money coming in, why are you blowing it like that?
Actually got a warning. Do not do it again. She saw all that. She saw her warning. By the way, she's not going to tell you this. When she had those videos taken down, and she acknowledged herself on her own channel that she got these videos taken down this past year, and, you know, she has had that happen to her years and years before. Every year she had 1 or 2 videos taken down. That's serious. When she acknowledged that they were taken down, she's not going to say this to you, but she was giving a warning. And what that warning is that you cannot do this again. If you do this again, you're going to be in trouble. That's what YouTube tells you. And she ignored it. So what I don't understand is, how was this woman chased off the internet by rumors when this woman continuously broke the terms of service of her job? When she was reported, her job looked at her whole channel, started looking at her videos, and said, wow, we didn't even notice Amberlynn Reid had been posting content for years that has been against the terms of service.
Yeah, and that's kind of amazing, is that, you know, for so many years, YouTube let this slide, probably because they don't have the level of staff necessary to monitor their own platform. But quite frankly, Amberlynn does not mukbang as much on camera as Foodie Beauty. So Foodie's got to be shaking in her boots right now. But we'll get to that.
By the way, this idea that it's just Amber is silly. There's another YouTuber, Quirky Rose, who has just also been temporarily let go from YouTube for the same reason. And this will continue to happen to people that break YouTube's terms of service. Please do not talk all at once, sir.
The perfect gift sets for $35.
And there's no gratitude from Amber's side to say, wow, they could have deleted my whole channel, but they're letting me reapply in February. By the way, you know, I keep talking about this. She's lucky that her channel is still up. That's because a lot of the times, you can Google this if you don't believe me, I've seen it happen tons of times. A lot of the times when YouTube finds that you make content that is against the terms of service, to the point of where you egregiously broke the terms of service, they will delete your channel, and usually they won't bring it back. Remember Foodie Beauty? Remember how they permanently deleted her channel? Yes, they brought it back. It is just simply not true that Amber was chased off the internet due to rumors. First of all, the majority of the stuff was being said about Amber. And see, like, this statement is manipulative that Amber's posting. Amber's trying to manipulate.
Yeah, and if you've been following the story, she's basically resorted to taking all this crap that she purchased and trying to sell it at over what the market value is for the things that she's trying to sell, because I guess they will have the added advantage of saying, well, I got this from Amberlynn Reid, right? Like, you bought it from a celebrity, an internet celebrity, and so therefore it's more valuable, but it's a bunch of junk. And that's how she's trying to make some cash right now.
manipulate the narrative, muddy the waters. There's two things going on. There's Amber complaining about having rumors started about her on the internet, which is not true, and Amber breaking the terms of service. They're two different things. Amber did 100% break the terms of service for the entirety of the time that she was making YouTube videos, because, as I said before, she had so many videos on different topics, not the topic that she was taken down for, but so many different topics that this woman broke the terms of service. So if they weren't going to get you on what you were doing while you were, temporarily fired, they were going to get you on another. But for years, I know that I started saying, I would say like from 22, hey, these videos are not allowed. Just read the rules. And she would just ignore me. So there's one thing happening. So let's just be very clear. Amberlynn Reid broke the terms of service, and that is why she was removed off of YouTube. Not due to rumors, not due to chasing people off, none of that. Second part of this is, are people spreading rumors about Amber? In my experience of making videos about Girl World, I would say that 99% at this point, I used to say I'd say like 90%, 95%. Almost every single thing that people said about Amber and even Chantal ended up being true. Yeah. Because what people don't see, like people like Amber and Chantal, they don't know about this. When you present yourself on the internet, people can feel and understand things about you based on your previous actions. And so Chantal just doesn't understand this, and neither does Amber. So no, Amberlynn Reid was not chased off the internet due to rumors. That's not how YouTube works. YouTube doesn't care about rumors. YouTube will take a look at the content that you post. If it's not against the TOS, they'll leave it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. These are not the brightest bulbs in the pack, right? So they don't understand that their grift is not getting past a lot of people. And so they don't understand that there are people like myself, activists, who are out there online looking for who is harming children, right? And young people. And we're not going to fall for your gaslighting. I don't know what I did. I have no idea what I did. And both of them also try and get into sexcapades and stuff. And it's just like, come on, I mean, if you want to look at body positivity, take a look at Candy Cane. That was Tom Yearsley's wife. She was a swing jazz player who promoted body positivity, and she most unfortunately passed away from breast cancer. But she was sexy. She wasn't trying to influence children. She was playing in 21 and up clubs. And their son, Candy and Tom's son, also got into music. I think he's also a bassist like his father. There are ways to do it in which it's not harmful, but these girls don't understand, I guess, because they have low education, right? I don't think either of them really spent any time like doing their homework in high school, probably, and neither of them have gone to college. Amberlynn likes to brag that she reads a lot, but for somebody who claims to be well-read, her vocabulary is quite limited,
Have Amberlynn repeating this again on Instagram. Here's Amber sharing the same exact sentiment somebody posted, and this was just like the other day. So somebody had posted their top YouTube channels that they watched because YouTube did this thing in review, and Amber was their third channel, and this is what the person posted. Would have been number one if she wasn't chased off the internet. First of all, I gotta ask, Amber, are you posting like from your other Instagram accounts, your other YouTube accounts that watch you, your favorite person, so much? This is just a question, but let's just give her the benefit of the doubt for the sake of this argument and say that, okay, so let me ask you something. How is it possible that everyone that supports her believes that she was chased off the internet, and that's me using a nice word, rather than Amberlynn Reid breaking the terms of service and people at YouTube that are looking at her channel agreeing with that and taking a look? Look, you have to understand something. She has had so many years where she was able to earn money on offending content that's just not allowed on this platform. And, it's not just her. Other people break the rules, and it's just a matter of time, until they get in the same situation. But I know that, like, whenever I make these type of videos, people always ask, like, why is it that people that support Amber actually like feel this way? Well, maybe they relate to her and they're similar to her, right? And she's their favorite YouTuber. And also, here's the thing. If you only listen to Amber's version of events and you don't want to think about anything else, and you don't watch reaction channels, and you don't do independent research, then this is why I've always said that a certain amount of people that follow Amber believe everything that she is saying.
Yeah, and the thing is, you can get a strike for just about anything. Like, I covered a video of these folks who were breaking the law in Yosemite Valley. They were riding motorbikes on horse trails, which is illegal. And I did a commentary on that video, and I got a strike from YouTube because they said it was copywritten. I don't even understand the logic behind this strike, actually. I mean, they should have just taken it down if it, just like put a copyright thing on it and made it less visible, is my thinking. But that was my most severe punishment I've ever received on YouTube, was by covering that video where they were breaking the law. It's still up, by the way, their video. And I covered it, and I had a strike on my channel for a year. A year. I'm not talking 90 days. I'm talking a full fucking year.
Great. So for those of you believing that Amber Reid is somehow a changed girl or she's leaving the internet, so she has continuously posted asking people to go on her Instagram to go buy cameos from her. Again, maybe Amber really does believe that she can sustain herself doing cameos. Maybe she can. Is your paycheck exactly the same or similar to the one that you got from YouTube? Wonderful. Then, of course, our girl is still the same girly. So she posted, I'm below this other person. Thank you guys so much for the support. Currently fulfilling cameos right now, so send me your request. So she thinks it's a big deal that she is below that person right there. Okay, well, okay, wonderful. I'm so happy for you that you are, doing so well on Cameo. I'm reminded of a sonnet by Amberlynn Shakespeare. It was just recently where she was like, I'm in the top 10, and she was not in the top 10 on Cameo at all. And it ended up that it was called manipulation of language and her furthering the narrative that she's the most popular girl in school. Of course, my favorite YouTuber, Amberlynn Reid, is the most popular girl in school on Cameo because it ended up that she just was like getting points on Cameo instead of being in the top 10 for the whole website. Interesting how you didn't say that. And then we have this. This is fantastic. Somebody had asked her on Instagram, I just didn't get to this, to post her last pic from her camera roll, and Amber posted this. Okay. Okay. I'm Amber. Assume her role as editor-in-chief. Somebody said this in my comment section. It was brilliant. And this definitely could have never, ever, ever happened in magazine because you definitely subscribe to it. And it's time to...
And Amber, I mean, if you take a look at any footage of Candy Cane, the jazz performer, she doesn't use filters. Okay, she's a very large woman and she doesn't use filters. I mean, filters are a farce. Why bother? Like, if you can't present yourself the way you are, why are you using filters?
To take over the magazine, I believe. This definitely could never possibly ever happen in Life magazine. This is in reference to everything that you post on your social media. Here's the thing, Amber, until you start taking responsibility, and it's mainly in reference to you saying that you were chased off the internet, okay? You were not chased off the internet. You willfully made decisions for years on end to continue to make content that was against the TOS. And I will say this, it's very possible that when you admit fault, you may have like a whole new career on YouTube, but time will tell. Okay, before we get to Foodie Beauty's drama, I just wanted to talk about a small topic here. So people have asked, why are different girls getting, losing their jobs, but Foodie Beauty is still monetized? So
Yeah.
I've said this before many times about when Foodie Beauty had her channel deleted and then it was brought back. It does happen sometimes, but it's not often that this happens. So here's the reason that I think that she has still been able to keep her job on YouTube. I think that she knows somebody on YouTube, and I've got to say, no one's going to believe me, so I'm ready for that, typical, where people don't believe anything I say. And then in this situation, it'll never be proven, because the thing is, if she does know somebody on YouTube, there is no way in the world that she's ever going to tell you. I mean, what we're about to talk about is proof that she even lied to you about the apartment that she lived at in Canada, and she lied about like everything about her like new place in Canada, which she didn't need to. She didn't even need to say anything, but she chose to lie. And now it's been proven to lie for the billionth time. Girls lie. So I just think that the fact that she can continuously break the terms of service, Foodie Beauty, and Chantal continuously does this. She breaks the terms of service and continues to keep her job. It's got to be something. She's not lucky. I'm sure she'll tell you.
And if you've been watching Foodie Beauty for any length of time, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen somebody who exudes so much evil that it has affected their exterior. Like, it's apparent and obvious in their body, their expressions, just everything about her is so evil that I don't know how to describe this, but like I've never seen anything like her before, which is why it's so fascinating and why it's so important to get this sort of content offline.
That she's not breaking the terms of service. She is. And it's blatant. It's in your face. And she actually keeps having videos taken down and then they're put back up. So yeah, okay, right. Let's move on to Foodie Beauty. So in a truly stunning turn of events, I think we need to have a moment of silence for the stunning, truly surprising moment to set in. Foodie Beauty has doxed herself for the second time. Yes, she has doxed herself for the second time. Let's have a moment of silence. Oh, never mind. It never happened because nobody here is surprised. All right, so the last time that she did this, where she showed where she lived when she ran to Canada from Kuwait, and she was living in Canada temporarily, and she showed where she lived, I had said, the next time that you start living in Canada, the next time would be right now, what you need to do is not show yourself at all. Just speak the way that like I'm speaking right now, where there's a still and you hear my voice, or you're consuming this video without seeing me, okay? Or she needs to get rid of the camera function. She can't do that on the phone that she was filming on, but she definitely can do that from a laptop. She can buy some type of laptop.
You know, and the thing is, last night on Locale Crypt, Tech Protect was polling the audience to see who he should cover. And Cyrex won out by 1 vote over Foodie Beauty, which might be good for him because she pissed off Kim so badly when she accused Yaba of essentially causing her ex-husband to commit slew or slide, that Kim had faced a similar situation. Although I don't know that it's exactly the same Kim, because Yaba is not an upstanding individual herself and has used Nazi rhetoric against FFG and things like that. I mean, it's a deeper argument, but it could potentially be good content for you to actually cover her and figure out what is going on with her, because she's so cray-cray, right? But I get why you would not want to touch this, because you have a personal impact. So I understand that it might present problems for Tech Protect if he wanted to cover Foodie, but I don't think he would invite her onto the show, right? He'd probably just cover her clips and give some background on her story.
Laptop or some type of a computer without a camera. Has she done anything that I said no? This is due to pure laziness. Like, if you're really looking for my opinion, it's due to pure laziness. So what's going on in her situation is very, very simple. This woman puts in so little effort into anything that she does, that as much as she doesn't want to be doxxed and just does not want to give out her location, she just can't stop herself from doing whatever she wants. So here's what happened. She was live streaming. Somebody asked her a question, and she, I guess, like, did something with her phone, and the phone flipped upside down and it showed her window, all the businesses outside of it. So people already have found out where she lives. Now, the only interesting part about this is this. They have found out that she lives in an incredibly nice building. You're probably wondering, why is this interesting? Foodie Beauty has extensively said that she lives in some kind of a not favored area of hers, in some type of area that is terrible. She has continuously said this, and where everything is super, super bad. Now, I'm sure the thought deep, deep, deep in your mind right now is, why would somebody lie about living in a bad building, or a building that is,
To get donations, right? Oh, woe is me. Woe is me. I need help. I need assistance. Right, Chantal?
just like terrible, and in a area that's like maybe not really great for her. Why would somebody like lie about something like that, right? Like, why would somebody say, I live in this terrible building, terrible everything? Why would someone lie about living in a terrible situation when they're living in an affluent, amazing situation? I'm so glad you didn't ask that question. Here's not the answer. The answer is because how else is she supposed to get donations in the future when she goes back to Syria to see her fake husband, who has clearly cheated on her numerous times and is just not that into her? How else will she get donations for moving to another?
I honestly don't believe that he would pick her up from the airport at this point, because she was so offensive to his family. I think if she was tried to force her way back in, he would not make arrangements for a pickup. But maybe he's stupider than I think. I mean, I think he's stupid to begin with, for even getting in this situation to beginning with. But the fact that if she tries to barge her way into his life again, after he has now inherited property in Syria from his father. And it sounds like his father came over to potentially help facilitate a divorce. So I just don't see why he would do that. But he seems really off too. And there might be some issues that run through his family of autism spectrum type stuff. I have no idea what's going on there.
Other area. The point is, she wants you to believe that she has no money, that she's living in the worst of buildings, in the worst of apartments, because she still wants you to donate to her when she asks you.
Yeah.
If the audience found out that she was living in a really nice building that was very affluent and the rent was like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, people would be less likely to give her donations in the future because they would understand that she must have the money to afford living there. And that is how the audience found out that Foodie.
And let's not forget that she just last week did a psyop where she created a Facebook profile and a YouTube. Well, I don't know if there was a Facebook profile. There was a YouTube profile of a woman who was claiming to have married Salah and going around something McMuffin, right? That's not obvious, Chantel. Something McMuffin was the I can't remember exactly what the screen name was, but it's just like, I mean, how stupid do you think the audience is, right? We could see by the screen name that there was something really off about what was going on, and that you were trying to create this scenario of I must return to Salah because somebody else is trying to get in his space and claiming that she is now his number one, and I need to be the number one, right? Well, you made that up and you admitted it on your live stream. You admitted that you made it up. And you think you're so clever and it's so funny and blah, blah, blah. And the rest of us are like, oh my God, what is wrong with this woman?
Beauty has been lying yet again. You know, it's just too bad. As somebody, the other day, somebody said, why couldn't Amberlynn be the editor-in-chief of this clearly never happened magazine? And my question is, why can't Foodie Beauty be the president and the maker of this has never, ever, ever, and will never happen magazine? Okay? So blatantly lying about the state of her living situation, obviously in order to get money later. Okay. So now that she has given out her location inadvertently because she listened to nothing that I said, hey, don't show yourself the next time that you stream. Don't show anything. Get rid of any cameras on your devices, like get a laptop or a computer without a camera. Has not listened to anything I said. So now that she's given out where she's living, what's happening is more than likely they're going to contact her. Like people are going to contact her landlord, her building manager. I really don't suggest doing that. I think that is very unusual behavior and just pointless to do, because here's the thing. If she's not comfortable in Canada, she's just going to clearly run back to Syria and be with her husband, and the content is going to be like bad. So just think of the content, and if you don't want to, my advice is don't do it, because it's such a waste of time. But people, I'm sure, already have done this, and they will do this in the future. You know what I'm trying to say? So can't stop the train once it leaves the station, right, Chantal? This is a literary channel. Sometimes it's a math channel. Chantal, how could you be this reckless for the second time? She's already done this. Why is it so important for these?
The second time? Are you kidding me? This is, I mean, she's constantly reckless. Her decisions are all reckless. And when she's not being reckless, she's just lying down on a couch and providing no content other than bitching about people who are watching her content. Like, what do you mean? Like, this is not just the second time.
Girls to show off. Like, why not just record like I'm recording right now, and you can't really consume the video in any other way than consuming my voice and hearing my voice and interacting with my voice? I just, honestly, I don't know. But you did this to yourself. Let's move on to Pete's. So Pete's, her former ex-boyfriend, long-suffering best friend who has done everything for her, went into debt for her, whatever, he was going to move in. And it was it's obvious from her demeanor that she blatantly lied to her audience when she said she's never going back to Syria. So all the people that gave her donations to live in Canada permanently, you donated to her whims. She's going back to Syria as sure as I have a Kermit, okay? So
Right.
she basically said that Pete said, let's call the movers for me to move into your house, Chantal. And she said, if I can be in Canada for 6 months to a year and I'm stable and like I know what I want and I'm not leaving anywhere, then yes, we should move in together now, because otherwise it's not fair to Pete's. And the audacity to say that her and Pete's...
Yeah, I gotta say, Chantal, the strategy of pissing off your donors, what are you thinking? Why are you self-destructing in such a harmful way to you? I mean, first of all, you should... I really would like to see some legislation passed in America, in Canada, about having a registry of offenders for animal abuse, because you would most certainly be on that list.
Decided this when it was clearly just her decision. Here's the thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with this decision, and that's a very rarity for me to say.
The Yard House. We don't do...
The issue is that it's good that she's not moving in with Pete's, because it's obvious, based on what she's saying, that she is going to go back to Syria and move in with her husband, Salah, okay? Her fake husband, her ex-husband, her guy that's not just into her at all.
Well, and Pete's, I know that you like to watch these videos too. The reality is that she's unreliable, and you're gonna have to move on with your life. She is unreliable. She has put you in a bad light, and there is a deeper sickness here that she has been unwilling to address or get treated. And you guys have some of the best medical in the world with your universal health care. So why is this so difficult for her? Her marriage is over. So is she going to keep trying to drag people down this way? She going to keep... Like, Salah was fine living in Kuwait, and she ruined it for him by being obsessively an animal abuser, wanting to steal a kitten from its mother. I think you made the right call here of being non-committal, of moving in. I understand there's going to be some sadness involved with having to set boundaries around somebody that you were so close to throughout your life. I've had to do it too. I had to cut off a friend who I had known since I was 17. And I realized that he had not conquered his drug addiction. And I cut him off when he convinced me to take him up to the Burning Man concert, and then bailed on me and left me alone at camp from like 4 p.m. to 8 a.m. the next day. And I was freaking out. And there's no services. It was an off year as well, so there really was no services because they had not planned to do it during COVID.
Basically, she's like, oh, it's not even Salah. What if I want to be with somebody else? It's really unusual to build your life around a relationship that you don't currently have. You're a single woman as far as we know. Why can't you just be that? You know, I think a lot of people have a problem in life. It's not just Chantal. It's really difficult to be who you are. Sometimes that's it. People are afraid to be who they are. Be who you are today. Who cares how you might change tomorrow and in 20 years and 17 Kermits from now? So basically, Chantal cannot deal and face the facts that she is a single woman right now. She thinks that's going to change, and that's why she doesn't want to disrupt Pete's. And I agree with her. I think she should never live with Pete's ever again, because at some point she's not happy like right now the way that she is. She is only okay when she's in a relationship. The problem is she gets into bad relationships, so she's never okay. The problem is she never learned how to be alone and enjoy her own company, so that's why she's not okay. Number one important thing you could learn in life is how to be by yourself. If you can be alone, you can do anything. Remember that, okay? If you can be alone, if you know how to be alone, like, anything is possible for you. My point here is this, okay? So it's a good thing that Pete is not moving in, because she was just going to disrupt his life. It's sad that you let him on and told him extensively, oh yes, you're gonna move in, when you know you're going back to Salah. So it's a fantastic thing that she's not moving in with Pete. He deserves to be happy and without you. Unfortunately, you'll never let him go. As far as an update on her husband, Salah, she basically said that the things that he doesn't like about her are things that she has to change anyways. Chantal, I hope this helps for the billionth time. He's just not that into you. And then she's like, oh, like, if it's decided that, you know, like, we should be together, we'll be together. Okay, Chantal, you know, if you really...
And by the way, I'm going to drop a link to Karina's original video on this so that you can see it uninterrupted by my commentary if you choose. But realistically, in my personal experience, some of the most mentally disturbed people I know are morbidly obese. And that compounds their problems, because on top of it, now they have this, oh, you're just body shaming me. But in fact, they have underlying issues, and those issues are what caused them to neglect their own health in the first place. I've had to cut ties with people because they were so abusive to me under the guise of, you know, they're like, well, you're just giving me a hard time because I've gained so much weight. No, I'm not, actually. I've been your loyal friend for many, many years, for decades even. But if you're going to constantly be cruel to me, I'm out. I'm too old for this bullshit. I'm not going to sit around and let people abuse me anymore. You know what I mean? And I think that everybody has to come to that realization in their life that you can't fix everybody. I can't fix Chantal. She has to find it within her own heart that she wants to be a better person. And you know, that's where we land on this one. So I'm cutting it by, I don't know, like a minute. Make sure you check out Karina's original video and like and subscribe. She's an excellent React channel. I don't even know what to say, but like, I haven't been able to put any videos out because this has been my Thanksgiving week, because I was too sick to do it last week. But here I am. I'm ready to go. Let's rock and roll.